Hey guys, Miss Warren here. In the first video, we talked about how to take your one-dimensional line letters to becoming two-dimensional shape letters. So we went from line, just writing out ART with lines, to creating shapes, something with a little more weight, volume, a little more pop, gets you to pay a little more attention. Now we're going to create what I call in the art world form, which is to make your letters three-dimensional. Now, if you don't want to make them three-dimensional, you don't have to. I'm just showing you this for an option. Okay, so when I make something three-dimensional, I like to think about which side can I see of the letter. So if I'm standing to this side a little bit, I'll be able to see this side of the letter. If I'm standing on this side, I'll be able to see that side of the letter. You won't be able to see both the right and the left side at the same time. You have to pick one side. So I'm going to show you all the example from earlier on the handout. Do you see how the shadows are all on the left side of these letters? They're not on the left and the right. They're just on the left side. So you have to pick left or right, up or down, before you start shading that in. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the left. So what I like to do is I like to pretend like there's a dot to the left, and I draw a little short line towards that dot. It could be up high, it could be down low, but I'm gonna draw from every corner. Now this corner, I wouldn't be able to see it. It would just go behind the letter, but this corner I would. I'm gonna go to the left, here, and you wouldn't be able to see this corner either because it would just go through the letter. So, but you have these little short corners all going towards this point. Even on the kind of rounded shape here, you can draw lines towards that point in order to give your letters a little more dimension. Even on the funky letter here with all the things, you can go from all the corners and slant them all towards that dot.
If you have not picked up your laminating, please do so at this time. Also, Mr. Rodriguez, please report to my office.
Okay, sorry for the interruption there. So we're going to be doing all the lines a little bit towards the left over here. So I just went from each corner that you could actually see and kind of made each one slightly go in the same direction. Now I'm going to connect these lines. So if this line here is slanted, I'm going to connect these two with a slanted parallel line. If this line is straight and horizontal, I'm going to connect this one with a straight and horizontal line. Yet again, if you like using a ruler, go ahead and use a ruler. I'm not this time, I'm just kind of freehanding it, but draw it light till you get it right. So if this line is kind of slanted, then this little line here will be kind of slanted. If this line is slanted, this line will be slanted. And you can see a little bit of this under part here, so I'm going to go ahead. If this line is flat and horizontal, this line here will be flat and horizontal, and this line here will be flat and horizontal because the one next to it is. So there I've got my letter three-dimensional now. We have height, we have width, and we have depth that goes back into space. So now for the R, I'm going to do the same thing. If it's kind of curved, then my ending line between my two slanted lines, those slanted lines have a fancy name. They're called orthogonals. You don't have to remember that, but if we do linear perspective, it will come up later. The slanted lines that go to the point that make it seem 3D are called orthogonals. So this is, if this line is curved, the part that ends the line will be curved as well. Now there, since this is a funky shape, we just have to repeat the funky lines. If this line is curved, then this line will be curved. If this line is slanted, then this line will be slanted. If this line is straight and horizontal, that line will be straight and horizontal. If this line kind of goes up like that, you just kind of connect the dots and end. I think this little corner that went in should have gone that way too. So if this line is slanted, this line will be slanted, this line is slanted, this line will be slanted. And if this line is slanted, then that won't be slanted. So now my letters are 3D. Now another thing that will make that pop extra is if you color in the shadow, if you choose some lighting and that slanted part, if you shade it in, it will cause your letters to pop a little bit more if you add some value to it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and end the video for making the letters 3D there. And I'm gonna start up again with a video on accenting, that is to emphasize the letters, and coloring.